morning children, and welcome back to your chemistry class. So today in this chapter of elements, compounds and mixtures, we are going to study about the separation of solid liquid mixtures. Now the solid liquid mixtures, they can be either homogeneous, or they can also be heterogeneous. Is that clear? Now let me give you one example. Like for homogeneous solid liquid mixtures, we can talk about, say, sugar solution. So when you add sugar to water, it becomes a homogeneous solution. So what is homogeneous over here means? Having similar property throughout the bulk. Now sugar is over here what? Solid, and your liquid is the water. So it forms a homogeneous solution. Clear? Now talking about solid liquid mixture which is heterogeneous. So we can take for example over here sand plus water. Now sand is what? Your solid, and water is your liquid, thus forming a sand and water mixture. But why did I say it is heterogeneous? Because it does not have similar property throughout the bulk. Therefore, it is termed as a heterogeneous mixture. Is this clear? So, in today's video, we are going to study how to separate a homogeneous solid liquid mixture and a heterogeneous solid liquid mixture. Not only referring to the example, but yes, referring to homogeneous and heterogeneous kind of mixtures over here. So, the first method to separate a solid liquid mixture could be by the process of sedimentation. So when we use the word sedimentation, we also use the word decantation. So now let us understand what do we mean by sedimentation and decantation. So the process of settling down of any suspended, insoluble and a heavy particle in this solid liquid mixture, right? When the complete mixture is left undisturbed, then it is termed as a sedimentation. What did I say? I am defining what is sedimentation, right? The settling down of suspended, insoluble, heavy solid particles, right, in a solid liquid mixture when left undisturbed, means we are not going to touch for some time, then it is called as sedimentation. Followed? Like for example, if I take a beaker, fine, and suppose this is the liquid over here, this is the water present here, and it also has some sand particles. So let me take some sand particles over here. Can you see this black color over here? These are the sand particles. If I am not going to touch this beaker for some time, if it is left undisturbed for some time, so what are we going to observe over here? That this is the liquid which is present, and your sand, it settles down at the bottom. This is the sand that has settled down at the bottom, and your water is found on top. Clear? So this process where the settling down of the suspended insoluble heavy particle takes place in this solid liquid mixture, when this particular beaker is left undisturbed, the process is termed as sedimentation, right? So over here, this will be now called as sediment. Why do we use this word sedimentation? because the heavy particles which have settled down after being undisturbed, they are termed as sediment, while this clear water that you observe over here, okay, this is called as supernatant liquid, which is a pure liquid. This is what is it called as? It is called as supernatant liquid, right? It is a clear liquid which is obtained above the sediment, right? Now, what is decantation? It is the process of separating the supernatant liquid from the sediment without disturbing the sediment. Clear? When gradually we pour this supernatant liquid, this water, into another beaker without disturbing the sediment, means sediment remains over here in this beaker, and the supernatant liquid is poured into a new beaker without disturbing this sediment, then the process is termed as decantation. Okay, so I write down the definition of decantation over here. That is the process of pouring out the clear liquid, that is the supernatant liquid, without disturbing the sediment, okay, is called decantation. So whenever there is sedimentation, the process of decantation is followed. So this method is used for which kind of solution? This is used for heterogeneous solid liquid mixture, right? Where what did we see? That the solid was insoluble and it was heavier than the liquid component. So what is the principle behind sedimentation and decantation? The principle behind sedimentation and decantation process is that firstly the mixture should be of solid liquid kind, where your solid should be heavy and insoluble component in water, right? It should be heavier and insoluble component in water. Clear? So that should be the principle. Thus I can write over here principle for sedimentation: solid should be heavy and insoluble in the liquid component. Okay, so this should be the principle behind your sedimentation. I hope this process is very clear, and one of your example could be sand and water. This could be one of the method for separating, can be separated by sedimentation and decantation. Next, let us talk about filtration. Filtration is another method to separate solid liquid mixtures. Okay, so what is this process? This is the process of separating again insoluble solid particles from the liquid. How? By allowing them to pass through a filter. Therefore, it is called as filtration. The process is termed as filtration. The process of separating insoluble solid particles from a liquid by passing it through a filter is called filtration. Okay, so let's take an example over here. Like what is the principle? process is used for separating components of what kind? Heterogeneous solid liquid mixture, right? Over here, what should be the principle over here now? That the solid should be lighter but insoluble in the liquid component. Okay, so what did we study in the sedimentation? Solid should have been heavier there, but again insoluble. In case of filtration, what are we studying? That the solid should be lighter and it should be also insoluble in the liquid component. Okay, so over here for this, I'm going to show you a figure as well, where we are going to use filter paper. So look at this figure. Suppose I take a beaker, okay, and the beaker has water present in it, right? What did I say? That the solid is light in weight. So suppose this is the solid. So what is the mixture? The mixture is that of sawdust. Do you know sawdust is very light in weight? It can float in water, plus water. This is the example that I have taken. Clear? So now I have to separate this sawdust from water. What am I going to do? I will take a beaker, right, and a funnel. Okay. In this funnel, we use a filter paper which should be 1/4 below the brim of the funnel, right? Now what are we going to do? This filter paper, this funnel is to be attached with the stand, and that stand could be placed over here like this. Clear? Now we take this beaker to pour it into this funnel, right? So let us take this beaker over here, which contains your mixture, that is your sawdust is here, okay, and the water is here. The mixture of sawdust and water is here. Now if you are going to pour this mixture directly into this filter paper, then what will happen? The tip of the filter paper will get tear off. So to avoid the tip of the filter paper to get tear off, okay, let me write it down over here. This is your filter paper, okay. So not allowing the tip of the filter paper to tear off, what are we going to do? We are going to use a rod over here, okay. We use a rod over here. We place a rod, glass rod over here, on which this liquid will be poured. So when you pour this liquid over this glass rod, what will happen? Gradually all the drops are going to come down to the filter paper. So this filter paper will not get tear off. Is that very clear? And now all the liquid, that is the water, will be collected in the beaker, and your sawdust will be collected at the tip of the filter paper, right? Thus, what do we say? What is this called as? Filtrate, okay? And what is this termed as? The solid substance which is left behind in the filter paper. This is called as your residue. So this is how your residue and your filter paper, that is sawdust, is left out over here. This is your sawdust, clear? And this is your water that we have obtained. So this is the process how we can separate the sawdust with water, or the heterogeneous solid liquid mixture where the solid is lighter and it is insoluble in water can be separated by the process of filtration. I hope this is clear. So these filters, right, the filter paper, they allow the liquid to though pass through them, but they do not allow the solids to pass through them. Thus what happens? The insoluble solid is left behind on the filter paper, which is called as what? Residue, while the liquid which passes through this filter paper, this is termed as filtrate. Thus, more examples you can take apart from sawdust and water. You can even take like examples could be your chalk plus water, isn't it? It could be even clay water. Best example is tea and tea leaves. Every day you must be seeing mummy preparing tea for herself, right? So this she's using sieve. So what is the work of the sieve? It acts as a filter over here where all the tea leaves are collected here and the liquid can be separated out, right? So these are few examples where we use the process of filtration. Next one. Now let us come to third method, that is evaporation. You are very much familiar with this word evaporation. It is the process of converting what? Liquid into vapor state, either by exposing it to air or by heating purpose. So that is called as evaporation. So this method is now not used for heterogeneous solid liquid mixture, but this is used for homogeneous solid liquid mixture, where what? The solid has already dissolved in water. But yes, over here in this process we ignore collecting liquid, we just focus on collecting solid from the solid liquid mixture. In that case we use the process of what is called as evaporation, right? For example, like salt that could be obtained from the seawater. Seawater, it is collected in the shallow beds, right? And it is allowed to evaporate in the presence of sun. So what did I say? The liquid, that is water over here, has to be ignored. So that evaporates. What is left behind? The salt is left behind, that is in the form of solid. So by this method we get only the solid, whereas the liquid, it evaporates in the form of the vapor. Thus, for separating a solid from its solution, we usually evaporate until the whole of the liquid vaporizes and it forms the vapor form. So I hope evaporation is very clear to you. So you can take an example of say salt, as I said, salt plus water. Okay, so over here we take a watch glass in which we keep the solution, and this is kept over a wire gauge. Okay, wire gauge you already know, for heating purpose, and then this particular substance is heated. So what happens? All the liquid will evaporate. What will be left behind over here? The salt will be left behind on the watch glass and all the water will get evaporated. Once all the water is evaporated, we scratch the salt and that can be obtained. So this was the process of evaporation. We next come to the fourth method to separate solid liquid mixtures, and that is called as crystallization. Now, as the word suggests, crystallization, it is a slow evaporation, right, of any solution which contains more of the solid component. Clear? So over here, like pure sugar, it can be obtained. Over here, pure sugar, it can be obtained from its solution in water by the process of crystallization. So how can that be done? At first, the sugar solution, it is heated to evaporate water at a faster speed. Now when all the water is evaporated, right, then we allow the solution to cool down. So when the solution cools down, what do we obtain? The cooling sugar starts separating out in the form of crystals, right? And that is why the process is termed as crystallization, right? So these are the solid particles with definite, what is a crystal? What is a crystal? Crystals are the solid particles with definite shape and size. What are crystals? We should understand. They are solid particles with definite shape and size. Is that clear? They are even lustrous, right? So you can, the best example is your sugar. They are cubical, they are shiny. You must have seen it at home also. Okay. Then next we come to the fifth method, that is your distillation process. Now what is distillation process? This is again a method used to separate homogeneous solid liquid mixtures, right? But over here, in both the cases, what were we doing? We were ignoring collecting liquid over here. Here, the solid was not collected in the form of a crystal, right? But in crystallization, we were collecting the solid in the form of crystal. Fine. Now, in distillation, we are going to obtain both solid and liquid, where solid has already dissolved in liquid, means solid is soluble in the liquid, and we are going to obtain both solid and liquid in this process. Then the process will be termed as distillation. So how are we going to define what is distillation? It is the method, I'll write it down over here. It is the method of getting pure liquid from a solution by evaporating and then condensing, okay, the vapors of the liquid having low boiling point. Okay, so first the solution is evaporated, then those vapors, they are condensed, and the liquid can also be obtained and the solid can also be obtained. Clear? So best example is your tap water. It is a mixture of what? Containing dissolved salts, and this can be purified by the process of distillation. So over here the pure water is obtained, which is called as a distilled water. Okay, and it is used by the doctors for preparing the medicines, also by the chemists for making solutions in the industries. It is also used for various other purposes. So the advantage of this process is what? As I told you, we are obtaining both the solid and the liquid mixtures over here, right? We next come to the last method of obtaining solid liquid mixture. The last method to obtain solid liquid mixture could be centrifugation. Now what is centrifugation? It is the method of separating solids from liquids, okay, where the mixture is homogeneous. So what are we doing over here? This is again solid liquid homogeneous method of separating. Okay, now what? Over here we are going to separate the solid from the liquid. How? By the process of centrifugation. Now what does this word centrifugation mean? It means that when this mixture of solid and liquid, where solid is soluble in the liquid, We rotate it at a high speed. Over here we use the apparatus called as centrifuge. The apparatus used over here is called as centrifuge, right? And it is used for separating the solid liquid mixtures. And over here the centrifuge tube, it is rotated at a very high speed, due to which what happens, the heavier solid particles or whose density is high, it moves towards the bottom, and the lighter solid particles, they start floating on the liquid. So this results in the separation of the two different solid and liquids based on difference in their densities. Clear? That is, what did we study? The solid particles with lower density, what happens? It floats. Solid with low density floats, and liquid with higher density moves to the bottom. Clear? So over here, what did I say? We are using the apparatus centrifuge, which is rotated at high speed. Rotated at high speed. Fine. So over here, based on the difference in the densities, the solid and liquid can be separated. How? When we rotate at high speed, the solid with low density, it will float, whereas liquid with high density, it moves to the bottom. Right? So best example is, like, you must have seen mummy preparing cream from milk. So this is done by this process of centrifugation. Right? Even we use the mixers or the churners for separating cream from milk. So this is a process of centrifugation. Another good example, if you can recollect, washing machine. Washing machine also uses the process of centrifugation in the dryer, where when you keep the wet clothes and you put on the dryer, what happens? It rotates at a very high speed. Solid, which is your clothes, at low density, they come up, and the liquids, they move away from the bottom. The water is removed and only your dry clothes are left behind in the dryer. Right? This is also an example of centrifugation. So that's all for today.